Hi, this is Matt Knobel, and you're watching The Art of Music Tech. I make records, I design studios, I teach people how to use equipment, how to do things like how to mix, how to master, how to record. It's all about understanding the fundamentals, the philosophies, and so forth. So what I thought was the only thing I was really missing was getting people the equipment. So I could have taken a job selling cars and then do music at night or whatever it is to make money to support my lifestyle, which we all have our lifestyle. So I decided that the perfect complement would be sell equipment. Basically someone comes in, I work with a lot of singers, they come in, they don't know what microphone to buy, and it's not about selling them the most expensive microphone, but I like them to hear what a $200 microphone sounds like, what a $2,000 microphone sounds like, what an $8,000 microphone sounds like, and all of them, And reality is that one of these microphones is going to be, the right microphone for them. It doesn't mean it's going to be the most expensive or the least expensive. They're going to hear it. They can be like, wow, I sound really good on that. I mean, microphones and speakers are transition points from electricity to your ear or your voice. And your voice and your ear have basically a thumbprint, a fingerprint. And so your voice, this microphone is going to pick up your voice differently than that microphone, and there's a chemistry there. So if I'm doing a vocal with someone, I'll put up 4 microphones, and one of those microphones is going to sound better on that song. Maybe it's the verse, maybe it's the chorus, maybe it's the whole song. And then you go to the next song and you do the same experiment with those 4 microphones, and maybe a different microphone sounds better because the key of the song is different. So if I'm selling somebody something, I want something that's going to sound good overall. But if I'm recording someone, it's the same thing. You go through the same process. It's a process of elimination. He had never worked with Pro Tools before, and I was like the Pro Tools guy in New York. Like there was nobody else doing Pro Tools in New York. And so I went over and I was supposed to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And in the middle of Friday, he shows up and we start, looping things off of DAT and, just taking a sample of this and a sample of that. And it was just kind of kismet because he would almost get the words out of his mouth, and just before he finished saying or starting to say what he wanted to say, I would have done it, So he'd be like, he'd want to say, grab those 2 bars and loop it, but by the time he said grab, it would already be looping. He'd be like, oh. And the whole day was like that. So it was just kind of like, I knew what he wanted before he wanted it, or I knew what he wanted before he could tell me what he wanted. And so in the middle of Friday, by Friday evening, he's like, can you work all next week? I was like, yeah, no problem. So I show up on, Saturday and Sunday and Monday, and, I guess it was like Tuesday or Wednesday or something. And he's like, do you want to do this record with me? I was like, yeah, sure. I was just a freelancer, so I'm doing jingles. I'm working with, I'm doing jingles every day, and I'm working with Will Lee, bass player from David Letterman, being his engineer, and doing jingles and doing records. He asked me if I want to do this record, so I was like, sure. So, we spent the better part of May of '97, May, June, July in New York, and by the time August came around, it was just getting crazy in New York, being in New York, trying to make a record in New York with, one of the biggest rock stars of our time. Things just get a little out of hand with people coming by, and once they find out where you are, you just can't get anything done. So we ended up going to the Bahamas, going to Compass Point, and we spent, the better part of the next 4 or 5 months making a record down there. And then we took a Christmas break and then mixed the record, and then we started working on somebody else's record for like 3 months. And all of a sudden, Lenny starts playing this guitar riff, and he's like, okay, wait a second. And then we started working on the drums. And, typically with Lenny, we spend a couple of, we're always working on multiple songs, at once. So it's like you work on a song for a couple of months, because it's like, do a little of this, then you get a block, and then you go to the next song and you work on it. But this song, he started with a guitar riff, and 3 days later we were done with it, and it was Fly Away. And the record was already done, it was mastered. We stopped the presses, we finished that song, got it on the record. It was one of his biggest songs, So it was a cool, fast, but like, you know, just like boom, done.